Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So today I have here another pen for review. I'd like to thank John at stjohnspens.com for lending me this pen. This pen will be going back to John very soon. So this is a Leonardo Officina Italiana, and this is the Furore. And this is one of the newer models that has come out from Leonardo in Italy. So let me unbox this, and you'll see here it comes in another black box. And I do love this black lettering here. So let's unbox this, and you should then see another box. I love it when pen makers do this. So this is a sort of plasticky faux leather style box, and if I open up, it's a clamshell box. You'll see inside here it's a Leonardo Officina Italiana, and it is a Leonardo Furore Vulcano. So this is a really nice looking pen. So let me just remove it from this box, and we'll show it in a little bit more detail here. Zoom in a bit more, and you can see here this is the pen itself. It's a really lovely sort of volcano type sort of a material. It's a very sort of grey material here. You can see here Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore and the number there. So this is actually quite a nice looking pen. Now these pens are cartridge converters, so let me show you here. First off, if I unscrew the cap, you'll notice here we have a broad steel nib with a plastic feed or an ABS feed. Now this is a cartridge converter, so if I unscrew this, you will find the cartridge converter, and the cartridge converter is branded Leonardo Officina Italiana. Now these converters are threaded. Do not try to pull these out. Now the Grande version of the Momento Zero you cannot remove, but the Furores and the Momento Zeros in general you can. So this is quite nice. Now if I screw this back on, you can also access the converter if you wanted to by removing the blind cap, and you can twist this and fill the pen or empty the pen. Clearly you're not going to be able to see how much ink you have left in that converter. However, it is still a nice sort of feature that Leonardo actually provided in their pens, and Delta also provided that as well. Now this nib is a broad steel nib, and this writes quite nicely. Now you can remove these nibs and swap these nibs out. Leonardo have actually started to make screw-in nib units rather than the friction fit nib units, and I can show you that here now. If I remove the converter, and what you can do, you have to remove the converter first, but literally you just unscrew, and there you have it. So that is the entire nib unit removed, and all you have to do is, what I do is sort of grip the feed there. Do not grip it hard. Put my thumb on the nib, and voila. But you have to remove that threaded converter before you do that, otherwise you will not get that nib out. So this is the Furore, and I actually do like it. It's actually a nice size in my hand. You can see here it's actually quite a nice model. You can post the cap if you want to. It does become a little bit of a wand, but it is actually quite a nice size. Now, I personally wasn't a fan of the pointedness of the cap and the blind cap on this pen, and it's not just this pen, it's other pens as well. Goulet have their own pen that has this pointedness. I tend to prefer more rounded, flatter caps than these pointed ones. But that's just a personal decision, and that's my decision. So personally, I prefer the Memento Zeros, and I can show you that here. Here is my Memento Zero Hawaii in comparison. Now, you will notice that the Furore is just slightly actually longer than the Memento Zero. But in terms of the rest of the pen, it's about the same size. So if you are sort of really thinking sort of, well, should I go for the Furore or should I go for the Memento Zero, there really is not a lot in it. The Furore is slightly longer, uncapped, and when the cap is on the pen. But other than that, pretty much they are identical. They have steel nibs, cartridge converters, and they actually write quite well. So, if I just show you this material a little bit more up close, this is the Vulcano, and this really is a lovely, lovely material. It's a material I do like, and I'm not really into black pens, but I could see myself actually getting one of these. This one will be going back to John, and I'd like to thank him again for providing this on loan for review. But this really is a beautiful material, so I can definitely see myself getting this material at some point in the future. I do like Leonardo's, I do like how they write, and I don't mind steel nibs. So for me, the price point on the Leonardo's are actually pretty good. So I think with that, let's do a size, a weight check, a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So in terms of length, the pen is 145 millimeters long, and the cap is 66 millimeters long. And we'll do it uncapped as well. We can make sure that the pen doesn't roll away. So to the tip of the tines, we're looking at 130, say 131 to 132 millimeters in length, which is actually quite a nice length. Now, we'll do a weight check. So the full weight of the pen, uninked, we're looking at 25.70 grams. The weight of the cap is just over 8 grams. And then the weight of the pen, uninked, we are looking at just over 18 grams. So that's actually quite a nice weight for most people. So here's a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Pelikan M600 turquoise white, a Pelikan M805 ocean swirl, a Pinida La Grande Bellezza, and this is the rhodolite version. We have a Pilot Vanishing Point, it's a black with gold trim. We have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Memento Zero in the Hawaii. We have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore in the Vulcano. We have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Memento Zero Grande in the sand. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. We have a Visconti Kaleido Voyager Yellow Dawn. And we have a Scribo Fill in the Verde Prato. So I think let's go and do a writing sample. So this is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore, and this is the Vulcano. Now the nib in here is a broad steel nib. The ink that I have inked up in this pen today is Pilot Iroshizuku Kirisami. You can see though this pen is quite wet. Now in terms of line variation, it's a broad steel nib, so you are not going to get a lot of line variation. If I start to push it a little bit more, you can get a little bit, but you're not going to get a massive amount. In terms of figure of eights, you can get a little bit of line variation out of this, but just bear in mind these are steel nibs. They are slightly bouncy, but you're not going to get too much line variation out of them. Now in terms of wetness, we'll do a vertical pass as well. It's actually quite a wet nib. It's not a fire hose nib though, and that's fine. It is a broad nib, so I would expect the nib to be quite wet. But for me, this is a very nice writing pen, and if I was after another Leonardo pen at the moment, I probably would buy this actually, because this nib actually writes very well. There's no hard starts, there's no skips to that nib. It's a broad nib, and it just writes flawlessly for me. And it's wet as well, and I like wet nibs. So I'd like to thank John from stjohnspens.com for loaning me this pen for review. He goes to most of the UK and European pen shows. Check him out there. He will be at a lot of the UK, or all of the UK pen shows in 2020, and some of the European pen shows in 2020. But if you can't wait until then, go check out his website at stjohnspens.com. So that's it. That's my review of the Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore in the Vulcano. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.